Hello Action Force fans, welcome to another Riley's Playtime YouTube video, and this is my review of the Series 3 Action Force Steel Brigade figure. So being Series 3, as you can tell, it is another female figure. This is the all-female wave from Action Force, and at the time of this recording, I have just finished recording my review of the Republic Guards from this wave, and that should be coming soon on my channel once it uploads. And also at the time of this recording, once again, the Valverse Instagram page has been updated to tease us more, and they've been doing that a lot lately. So let's talk about that for a second. I'm not going to say too much, but I'm excited for those. I think some of those might be like Series 4, 5, or 6 figures, because Bobby has said on 3POA in the past that he's already working on Series 7 figures and beyond, I think, which is crazy work ethic. So I'm sure we'll be getting more information about that. If you have been following the news, you know that spring, I think May or something like that, March, April, May, somewhere in there, we're getting a reveal and update for what is to come with the next wave and future things for Action Force. I believe the mail away figure, or what, not figure, but the mail in thing, offer, whatever you want to call it, should be coming soon, along with an update for the vehicle, which at this time I can't think of the name of it. I think he calls it the Avenger or something. It's something, I can't remember. But the Resvani vehicle that he is working on, which is a modified version of the Resvani tank in real life, is my most anticipated reveal for Action Force. So that should be coming this spring. So we have lots of good things, or exciting things, lined up for spring, and everything is being teased on Instagram at the moment. And whoever runs the Instagram page, I can't remember if it's Bobby or not, but they have revealed another future figure, and the caption baffles me a little bit because it says coming basically at ValCon, and that makes me wonder if it's going to be a con exclusive, or if it is going to be first seen, shown off at ValCon 2023. Hopefully it's not an exclusive. I hate con exclusives because I'm not able to go due to me not living near any cons or having the funds to get to one at all. So I kind of hate them. I'm coming from SH Figure Arts Dragon Ball figures that I've collected a while. I've reviewed a couple of those on my channel as well, so if you guys didn't know, you can go check those out. But coming from SH Figure Arts, having all of their Comic-Con exclusives that I've never really been able to pick up because they get to the customers who reserve them, or however they do it, and then those customers just post them on eBay and other sites and scalp the shit out of them for around $118 too many dollars. So anyways, that's enough about sort of updates. This is, of course, the female Steel Brigade, as I've already mentioned, and this figure is packaged sort of unusual, and I believe the rest of the wave is packaged in an unusual way for Series 3. First off, it has a windowed packaging, which is a plus, and the color for the helmet, the commander helmet, looks slightly more yellowish compared to the male counterpart, which is interesting, and some of the colors look a little bit different. They look lighter on the female compared to the male version, which I will show you here in a minute once we unbox the figure. So the magazines are all packaged separately, along with the hands and the knife and the way the weapons are, which that's all normal, but the magazines not being in their respective slots or in the gun respectively is interesting and just something to note. If you're an in-the-box collector, you'll be able to see more of your stuff, I guess. So it also looks like it has some bands, sort of like older toys would have, those little maybe twist ties or rubber bands, whichever they are. I'll find out once I open it, which is a little odd too, because we have yet to see that in Action Force that I can think of at the moment. But this is Steel Brigade, and so the color scheme appears to be the same for the most part, which is quite nice because I wouldn't want my Steel Brigades looking differently. Here's the top of the box, same usual, and then the bottom of the box, same usual. Series 3 color, you can see a little bit better on the Action Force side of the packaging. It has sort of a digital camo print to it in a darker red, which I do like that every series has different packaging. And then, unlike the Troopers that are already reviewed, this is considered a core figure in the line. So this has the nicer back of the packaging where you can see all of the women in the line except for all of the core women in the line, basically, except for the Republic Guards in this comic artwork with the typical explosion in the background, sort of like the G.I. Joes and the rest of Action Force. And this time, you actually get to see their names sort of differently. The Series 2 packaging sort of looked like a Mortal Kombat character select screen, and this one is completely different, which I appreciate. Of course, you have your QR code there. It says each sold separately, I'm sure for legality purposes, but yeah, I'm just appreciating this artwork at the moment. Here is the file card. I mentioned in my last video, the female file card is slightly different than the other Steel Brigade file card that we get. This is exactly the same, unless I'm missing something. I read both of them a minute ago. Is exactly the same as the male one. I didn't actually look up here, but the actual bio part of it is the same, except for the last sentence. We are lacking a sentence or so on the female version. It's the same up until that point. You do get 2 action points since this is a core figure and not an exclusive. And you get this tape, which is weird. I don't know if this is new for Series 3 or not, but you're getting round tape like we've seen on other figures before, instead of just normal, like, rectangular tape. I don't know if that's new or not, but in my last video I mentioned the packaging is a little bit different this time around. We're getting different bags that aren't resealable and things like that, so I figured I'd mention that here. So that is the end of showing off the packaging. I can't believe I spent 10 minutes talking about this. I'm going to open this up now, and we're going to look at her and compare her to her the other figures I've opened so far, and compare her to her male counterpart and a couple other male figures, so you guys can get a size reference, color reference, and everything you need to know about this figure. Well, interestingly enough, this is the first time I've ever had the stand not fall out, and I realized that is because they put one massive piece of packing tape all the way at the bottom. You can't really see on camera, but it goes basically from the front of the box across and then all the way up to the top right there. That's crazy. So as you can see, that is the typical stand, and I can't believe I forgot to let you guys know this is number 4 in Series 3, and I love the color, the sort of teal, and then that continued artwork there. Just so I wouldn't forget to tell you guys that, because clearly I did at first. As you can see, I have unboxed her, but before we get into that, I have to gripe. Here's what the packaging looks like now. I've completely, sorry headphone users, completely bent the crap out of that. I'm gonna stop there. That was intense and insanely annoying. So here are the extra hands that I'm not going to take out of the box. I have figured out, my suspicions have been confirmed. Okay, so before I unboxed them, it kind of looked like that piece of film that they put on every Action Force figure has been removed, which is probably due to some environmental BS, using less plastic crap. Wow, this is dusty. I have dusted this so many times. Anyways, probably due to some legality crap with needing to use less plastic, but because of that, for some reason, they indented the plastic prison, as I'm calling it, the clamshell, so much to where the figure is sitting so far back to where it won't rub paint from the figure onto the plastic on the outside, which was the original intent of that film. So they made up for it, but also because there's no film and they didn't want things moving around, this figure had to be strapped in on every limb, and damn it, that was the most pitiful thing. I feel like I'm opening a toy as a 10-year-old, because when I was 10, everything had to have these little stupid straps, and it sucked, especially Hasbro toys. Like, I feel like I'm opening up a Hasbro toy from, like, 10 years ago almost. So that's enough of that, but you guys understand why that was so annoying now. I got fed up with it. So anyways, the good side of that, I guess, is now you can see more of your accessories. I'm not sure if I put these in right. I probably put them in wrong. But anyways, here is the figure, and she feels like the rest of the females that I've opened up. She's a little heavier because of her gear. And of course, now if you want to make custom Steel Brigades for the moment while you wait on other gear packs, you can buy a bunch of these and put them on your other Republic guards, which I don't know why you would, but I'm sure some people will. And I am all for it, because I've already seen some Black Steel Brigade custom figures in the past. I actually saw one today that'd be cool. And I like these feet. I like that there's some paint apps instead of just the pure black or gray from the other Republic guards, because the Republic guards are cheaper, so of course they have less paint apps. And I do like this. And that is kind of cool that you have extra molded in magazines, and this isn't just reuse of that little strap for the MX-9. So let's just go ahead and get that out of the way. Her actual accessories she comes with, other than the hands that I already showed you, she comes with that stand that I've already shown you, which is standard. She comes with the commander head, which I don't have another commander head to show you at the moment, but it definitely is lighter, or at least it looks lighter to me, than the gold used for the other commander head. And I'm talking about the Special Deployment series, not the original commander head, because that is different as well, since it was exclusive. She comes with, I just dropped the knife, 2 standard issue weapons, being the standard issue Steel Brigade reuse knife that we've gotten before, and the most boring MX-9 that we've gotten a bunch of times. I have a collection of these now. The only thing that I want to change is like the slide. Just paint it gray or something. Do something. I don't know. I'm not hating on Valiverse, but I'm hating on this piece specifically. I have a lot of these. I'm not a fan of the look of this gun. It seems to be standard issue for almost every single Action Force figure, including the cooler core figures, and they're not giving it any paint apps, and I don't like the reuse of just that being thrown in. Like, hey, we don't know what gun to use. Well, give it an MX-9. That's how I feel like they're thinking about it. Probably all wrong there, but it is what it is. Everything is standard issue Steel Brigade in terms of where things are. Like, that's still on the back. Same leg for the holster. Same color scheme as it should be. And not much else to say. besides that, the one thing that's not standard issue was still somewhat standard issue. So we get 3 of these magazines, which I've already shown you. You know they're removable. I stuck that one in extremely tight somehow. That ain't coming back out. We've seen this gun before, but it's painted in the standard issue primary weapon color scheme for Steel Brigade, which is the tan, and it has the black on it. And I don't think the magazine... Yeah, the magazine is a lot lighter silver rather than gray. So that's all there really is to say for accessories. Her articulation is hindered by her vest, but so is every other vested Action Force figure that we've seen. Her gloves all come with this gray, which is cool for kit bashing. I like using different figures' gloves with some of mine. I have one fully kit bash figure that I've shown you guys before, that being the Steel Brigade Heavy Weapons, that is built on a desert or a Delta Trooper body with a Night Ops Steel Brigade hands, and that's really it for the most part. So it is technically my kit bash figure that I have. I want to do more kit bash figures, but I like these how they come figures more because it's less work for me, and I'm not a very creative person. But maybe if I get more funds and more figures in the future, I shall build up a collection of stuff. I've been thinking about this a lot, so I'm going to veer off onto a rant slightly. So here is her kitted completely out, looking as cool as she does. And I should probably move her closer to the camera, actually, so you guys can see her a little better. So I'm going to go ahead and do some size comparisons. But what I've been thinking about is, so here's the male, which I think they look great together. Her mask is even a little different on the gray one too. We have so much customization with Action Force as a lineup, and I'm wondering, and I doubt it'll ever happen because why would it, right? But let's just be honest. I want to see some sort of build a figure, but build your own figure sort of thing on the Action or Valverse website. So, you know, when you go to the Action Force figure section, there's the series, and then there's the extras tab and things like that. It would be cool if either they could make it their own tab or throw it in the extras. And I know they don't take unsolicited ideas, so it's probably not going to happen because it's an unsolicited idea. But say you want to make a kit bash and you don't really want to buy every figure just to make a kit bash, because the figure you want to make would take 6 other figures. So cost-wise, you now have to go on the Action Force page. You have to buy those 6 figures at around $33 a piece, taxes and whatever excluded. So if you buy 6 figures, I know from experience that's around $160 to $180. I'm not good at math, so we'll give it a range. So roughly that for one figure, and now you have other parts that, yes, you can continue to kit bash with the figures that you've already bought. But if you don't want to kit bash those parts and you just want to make one, say you want to take a head from Steel Brigade, the arms off of a Spec Ops, just something crazy, use a vest from a completely different pack, change out some of the other like leg pieces with a med pouch and other things like that, just to use one part of every figure. So you take 6 items, 6 figures, you don't reuse parts from other items, so now you just have fodder, and now you have a lot of money that was not well spent, and fodder that, yes, you can resell, you can reuse, but not everybody wants to do that or wait for that to happen, because I'm sure some parts would just be sitting there. in a box, and I wouldn't really want to keep those parts per se just for that one figure. So if you ignore the fact that yes, you can reuse or resell those parts separately on eBay or whatever, what I would like to see is when you go to the Action Force website, have a build your own figure or create your own character, whatever you want to call it, section to where you can just choose, almost like a character customization screen in a video game, where you start off with a base body. Say, for the sake of argument, you start off with a Republic Guard body, just on the page, and then you can then not only choose what legs, what torso, what head to pop on, and what gear to put on, but you can choose each individual limb. Say you want one green arm and one black arm. Well, instead of having to buy two figures, you just select left arm to be this one, and then right arm to be Spec Ops arm or something like that. Maybe have like little arrows to just swipe through or something, whatever the interface would look like. Just trying to build a picture for you guys. And you just start off with the figure initially, and then if you like the head, you can of course keep that, and then you could change the head if you want to, or if you want to use a head like this that can accept helmets, you can choose to have a gray, a blue, a red, whatever helmet is offered in the line on other figures, and just select that. Or if you want to say have two helmets, or you want to have a Steel Brigade head and that, almost like buying pieces separately, like kind of like buying fodder on its own, but getting a figure out of it. And since the pieces cost the same tooling, I would say it would cost about the same as buying a normal figure, like around 33 or 34, whatever the price is now, 35, something like that, dollars for your custom figure. Now, if you add stuff to it, of course, raise the price some, but if you don't really add anything to it, say you get a figure but you have tons of weapons like I do, or anybody else who owns the weapons packs or the Crimson Shadow 10, and you just don't add weapons to it, maybe that'll knock off $1 or $2 of your price point. And if they even want to do it like this, to where they have more control over it than the consumer, they could say you have a base figure, you can just choose the gear pack, and when you get the figure, you'll get your stuff kind of like they do Republic Guards in the gear pack separately. They don't have to do any box art changes or anything like that. They can just throw it all in a bag for all I care. Or just have a simple create your own character box that's not specific to the character that you create, but just like a blank figure or a blank character, something like that. And then have like create a character or something at the top of it or the bottom, like they normally do in Action Force box, and then just have like the artwork and stuff on one side. And then if they wanted to do a file card, they could throw in the file card saying something along the lines of either what you type in like a little text box at the bottom, or if they don't want to do that, they could just have this is a character that you create, you choose blah blah blah, like the way you choose how this character navigates the world, or something creative, not really specific, that they could just reuse and reuse and reuse. I wouldn't care how they did it. I'm gonna stop ranting now, but you get the idea. And I can't be the only one who thinks that's something cool that I would like to see. Now, obviously, it's never going to happen, because if it does happen, it damn sure ain't coming from because I said it, but that would just be awesome in my mind. Because say you want to create a driver for a vehicle specifically, and things like that. You just very battle specific, or you want to create your own squad, but you don't want to buy a bunch of figures to create your own squad. Like, you want figures that haven't been created that you can kit bash into ones. Like, I see people taking like the gray legs off of the what are they called? The not Republic Guards, the troopers that are red and gray. I can't think of them. Cavalry troopers. Like, people take the gray pants off of those, kit bash the stuff like the pouches and stuff on the legs, and then the weapons and other things like that, and then maybe put like one of the blue Steel Brigade, stuff like that. Like, if they could just do something even simple, but give people more freedom, like out of the gate, rather than having to get it done at their house, and have it just like, if you just get a figure pre-assembled, shipped to you, you don't have to worry about breaking anything when popping joints, things like that, and it would just be easier for, I don't know, maybe anybody to just have a custom, their own type of figure, almost sort of like in comparison to engraving your iPod at the time. Why am I thinking about that? Just more personalization from factory upon order rather than afterwards, because like I said, it would be more cost effective and just honestly kind of fun, and it's just more beneficial rather than doing it at home. I'm sure a lot of you don't care, but that's my take on it. So that, I guess you could call that my hot take. But anyways, back to the figure. Here's my size comparisons. You can see that standard issue weapon a little bit sort of off screen there. Here we go. Standard issue Steel Brigade weapon, female standard issue weapon, I guess now. And I currently have 4 Steel Brigade figures, if you don't include my kit bash, which... Actually, I'm lying to you guys. I forgot. I have 4 Night Ops Steel Brigade figures, so I guess now I have 8. But as far as daytime goes, I have 4 of the blue, of this color, the traditional Steel Brigade. I have 4 of them, and 2 of them are female. One of them I still haven't opened yet because I wanted to do the review, and then I'll open the other one eventually. And then I have one that I'm not going to open that is in the box packaged backwards for some reason. Just because it's packaged backwards, I'm not going to open it because I find that interesting, and I've never gotten another figure like that before. So I might have to go ahead and buy another SDS Steel Brigade to go with that. But as far as kit bashes, and of course you can buy the heavy weapons gear pack. Since it comes with a head, you don't actually have to have a Steel Brigade figure like I do, or to go ahead and do that. So you can do something like I did. And here's another. You can make him part of a different squad and have him green since his helmet is green. And you can do that if you want to. If you want to put that on a completely different body, you could have Steel Brigades from anywhere. You can make whatever color Steel Brigade you want out of that heavy weapons gear pack, or you can use normal vests and the head from that and paint it up to whatever. But anyways, that's just something I thought I would talk about. So 3 Steel Brigades, 2 other figures to give you more of a reference photo here. And thank you for watching. This is a half an hour video. I'm sure you guys did not watch to the end, but if you did, thank you for the dedication. I know I didn't really talk a lot about the figure itself, but you get the idea. That's what it looks like. Quality, articulation is what we expect from the Action Force lineup. And if you want another addition to Steel Brigades for whatever purpose you have, then you'll enjoy this Steel Brigade. So thank you all for watching. If you watched this whole video, you're insanely awesome. You should sub if you haven't already. And I hope you guys are enjoying the rest of your day.